This is a little bit of a different video. If you find it helpful, go ahead and share it with your Alliance members. I also don't post every single video I make on Facebook, Discord, everywhere, whatever, and the best way to see everything that comes out is to follow on YouTube so you don't miss something like this in the future. Kixeye has made a very big update as far as Battle Pirates goes. We usually see the same thing week to week, but there are some real differences in today's big change for the raid, and today I want to talk about that. Now, the biggest thing you're going to see is that the ships in the raid, you can now get the regular PvE ship, and the flagship is out at the same time with that. I'm going to explain why that's happening, why your ships are not going up to U3 to start, and what you're going to need to do about this one. Okay, so the way that the game has worked for the past several months, if not years, is with the 3-month cycle. It seems like we've been doing this about a year and a half at least. You get the ship, and then you wait a few weeks, use it in Strike, which gives you 2 to 3 weeks to build the ship completely, and then you use that ship to get the flag in the first raid. That has a couple problems, because oftentimes the flagship has higher armor points than the standard ship. And that's actually the case for the current Apex Stormbreaker. It has 354 million compared to 324 million. And this means if this flag is an evade tank and has a bunch of king killer in the target, which is just a general assumption, I'm not saying the current raid will or won't, in fact it probably will, you can't build the flagship as a king killer ship in Strike 1 and Raid 1 if you don't have it. We gave that feedback to Kixeye and we're like, hey, why is the flagship coming out later? We need to use the chip to get the flag, and the flag build is different than the rest of the regular stuff, and it also feels rushed. You could do something like make the flag always have the same armor, which is a band-aid to the problem, but it still feels rushed. Players did not like not having the flagship. Players wanted the flagship early, and they wanted to feel like they have a full fleet early. It doesn't matter if the first raid and the first strike is tuned to 4 ships, even if Kixeye says it is. None of us believe that. So they're giving us a flagship in the first raid. But in order to not have us feel overwhelmed, we're getting the flag in the first raid and delaying some of the upgrade stuff until a little bit later. If you check out the dev diary, which I would actually recommend reading through, I'm not going to go over every single thing here, you're going to actually, in this game changes section is the important here. Basically, players said that if the flag comes out after the raid, you're going to have to refit it, rebuild it, whatever, change your fleet, which is 100% true, but it just feels bad. We want to have the full fleet. I don't want to feel like I'm playing with half my toys. I want to have all of them at once. And as I mentioned, to accommodate this, the U3 upgrade is shifted to Raid 1 when the flag had it before, and U1 and U2 are out right now. Now, what I think this is going to mean for the build plan is that you're going to, again, still need to spend all of your physical time upgrading your ships. You can use tokens to build the flagship, you can use tokens to build the normal ships, you can refit those with tokens from TLCs and stuff like that, and you should spend all of your physical time upgrading. Always be upgrading, never spend days of actual currency of your time, of your shipyard's time. It should never be refitting something on, it should always be upgrading. Furthermore, in order to really maximize this, you should only build 4 ships for the first raid, the flag and 3 others, so that way you can use upgrade tokens that you get from TLCs and stuff like that in the 2nd and 3rd month on that 5th ship, the build tokens specifically too, otherwise you'd just be throwing them away. So I'm going to build 4 ships for the first season and see how that works out, and I'm also going to try and save my tokens until the first raid, so that when the first raid starts, I can hit a few things, get some upgrade kits, stuff like that, maybe even go into that first raid with enough upgrade kits in inventory. All I need to do is get a few tokens, and then I'll have a U3 fleet by Raid 1, and upgrading the ship is a lot easier to do than building the flagship when you don't have it, and there aren't enough generic build tokens for that stuff. Anyway, that's the season changes related to flagships. That's the PvE things that I wanted to cover. Now, it might mean that the DerpyTheCow build stock, I guess the DerpyTheCow upgrade stock, will need to change a little bit if the upgrade times and stuff like that are changing. It's basically under a day for U1, a little over 2 days for U2, and 4.5 days for U3, with stuff increasing for X1 and Cap1, but that's available in the YouTube description 100% for free, by the way. Some of that might need to change and be updated, which I'll make sure I do this first season. But that's the big stuff with flags. Now, the other stuff, which I'm actually very glad to see and don't always necessarily report on or note, is some of these recent updates and bug fixes. Some of these are pretty silly. That was kind of dumb for Kixeye to introduce. They added the ability to extend rogue crews on the world map, but there was no cancel button. All you could do was extend it or close the pop-up. I couldn't dismiss the crew from the world map. They luckily did add the dismiss thing a few weeks later. They made the problem and fixed it, so whatever. And then a few other things that are happening, including the ability to display upgrade kits in the Command Center drop-down menu. It's been like 2 years minimum since we've had upgrade kits, and we haven't been able to see them. I had to resort to sending tickets every time I wanted to see how many kits or fragments I had. I think that the strategy that I did actually recommend to a few people of send a ticket every time you want to see one, and they'll eventually add it in-game worked. Those of you who know what has happened with me on Discord actually know I got banned from Discord for suggesting things like this, because I think the Kixeye person on Discord didn't know that I couldn't see when they removed my posts, and they were warning me on deleted posts, but I couldn't see it because they were deleted. Anyway, some other stuff here is really nice, like the ability to have a scroll bar in the raid, as well as the search in the raid store. That stuff is fantastic, and the ability to rotate portals in Base Planner has been asked for since portals came out, which was Major Rackham way back when. So they're doing a bunch of good updates and stuff like that in the game, if you're not aware of that, which I'm very pleased to see. I'm actually going to vote with my wallet and go buy some more gold. Probably the 199 for 50 gold thing. Don't tell Kixeye I'm being cheap, but I am supporting this behavior by spending money because of this recent update. And I think that's a good way to go. We like to talk about boycotting things, but if there's positive behavior, we should reward that if we're having fun. If I'm having fun, I'm going to spend money on the game. Now, the rest of this I'm going to take with a pretty big grain of salt, because they're making a lot of promises here, talking about some Alliance stuff and some accolades and some roadmap things. Alliance Wars, Megahole overhaul. I guess no one really cares about Megaholes. I clicked on mine accidentally the other day, and I think that's the first time it's happened in a year. But the Alliance War stuff could be pretty interesting. Alliances are kind of the backbone of the game. Some of the other stuff, shipwrecks and interceptors, trying to bring back more fleet versus fleet, feels a little bit like they're just adding another raid, another thing for you to go spend money on. But I'm going to, I guess, hold my judgment until I see it. Some of this stuff we were told would never happen, like officers for Kixeye.com, but I guess no one tell Facebook that they're removing that specific thing. Basically, there's big changes promised. They've done a lot of the great small changes that we asked for literal years, which I'm very happy about, but I don't quite know that these big things are coming anytime soon. If they are, though, I'll be featuring them on videos like this one, maybe things that aren't just target videos, and are talking about the state of the game a little bit more and doing some exciting things out there. Those of you who know me and have seen me on doing things like a little bit of light trolling on Discord will know that Kixeye doesn't compensate me, pay me, whatever in any way. In fact, they banned me at least once. So if you want to support the channel, you can do that by clicking the join button below the YouTube, right below the like button actually. And if the content I'm giving you, the entertainment and the target savings that I'm giving by showing you how to drive things, you think is worth $2 a month, I would be humbled and grateful for your support on that one. And you'll get your name added to something like the end screen, which is a good time to say thank you to the channel members for supporting videos like this one, and I'll be back to your regularly scheduled raid programming in the next video. With that said, and until next time, this is Derpy, signing out, helping you be a better pirate.